Hi again. Thank you so much for joining me again. I want to talk to you today about avoidance, the culture of avoidance or an attitude of avoidance. And it comes down to really stopping yourself. And when we are stopping ourselves from progressing, when we're stopping ourselves from doing certain things that we know we are supposed to be doing, we could very well be getting into the attitude or culture of avoidance in our own lives. And when I say culture, I mean an attitude that has actually grown in us. A culture is something that grows, and we can embody a culture of avoidance because we are steering ourselves away from things that we know we should actually be doing. When you steer yourself away from your responsibilities, you are in an avoidance and you're stopping yourself from doing something that you're supposed to. I was talking recently to somebody who said they struggle to get up in the mornings. They struggle when the alarm goes off. They know they've got responsibilities. There are certain things that they have to do by a certain time that morning, but they just cannot get themselves out of bed. But they came to a point in our session where they admitted actually that they could get up if they wanted to, but they were at a point where they were willing to admit they were avoiding the things that were waiting for them. The thing is, when you avoid the things that are waiting for you, they don't go away. And when you do finally get out of bed or finally go to the meeting or finally make that phone call, those things are all there waiting for you, except they're now under even more time pressure because you delayed it, or the situation that could have been resolved when it was small has now become a very big thing. And so an avoidance in our lives is just deferring and delaying the inevitable. There are certain things that need to happen. Let's say you get up in the morning as a parent. My children are now adults, but when they were small, my first responsibility was to get them up, get them dressed, get them fed, and then get them ready for school or whatever activity was going to take place that day. That was my responsibility. You see, I could have then lain in bed and said, I don't want to face today. So I'm going to stay in bed. And by doing that, the knock-on effect would have been my sons would not have been fed in time. They would have not been dressed in time. They would have now been late to school. So my avoidance of my responsibilities has now got a knock-on effect, and it's affecting other people's lives. And I'm now embarrassing my kids by making them late for school. And that's something I've actually worked with in life coaching sessions, is parents that are making their kids late to school, and the children are saying to me, this is embarrassing. I can't stand going to school late, but my parents just can't seem to get their rear ends into gear. And so I've got to actually suffer the fallout, and I've got to suffer the consequences of a choice that I didn't even make. I wonder if our culture of avoidance isn't affecting other people in our lives. We're steering away from responsibilities. You are showing a culture of avoidance when you do not admit fault. When you admit fault, you're basically saying, I'm ready to put this right now. I'm ready to learn a lesson from this. I'm ready to become a better person, and I'm going to choose this event, this scenario, this situation to be a growth point in my life. But when we are not admitting fault, we're denying ourselves an opportunity to grow, and you are stopping yourself. Stop stopping yourself. When you see, sometimes we think that admitting fault is admitting weakness. Making a mistake is not weakness. It is the human condition. It is normal to make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, you're very strange. And you're also not learning, and you're also not acquiring wisdom, and you've got no story to tell about your life. Your life is pretty boring if you're getting it right all the time. And you're not, by the way. So also, when we don't allow change to take place, people love change until it comes knocking on their door. People love change in the workplace until it's their office that has to change. It's their department that has to change. It's their job that has to change. We want to move ahead. We want to see new things happening, but don't make them happen to me. I want them to happen to other people, and I want to get the benefits from that. That doesn't work like that. Life does not work like that. And within change, there could be an implication of regret. Well, I regret doing that, so I need to change. When that actually does not have to be the case. Sometimes change is there to take us to the next level, to take us to the next step, to improve us, to improve who we are. And so when we are avoiding change, we're avoiding the inevitable, and we are being left behind. Everything is always everybody else's fault for somebody that's operating with a culture of avoidance. I avoid responsibility. I avoid accountability. Things have gone wrong in my life, so I'm going to just avoid these things, and I'm going to pretend that everything is absolutely awesome in life. And by doing that, you're basically saying, I'm not taking ownership for the mistakes that I've made. It's everybody else's fault. It was my parents. They messed up. It was my spouse. It was my ex-partner. It was my boss. Well, you know what? There are people in your life that have probably made it easy for you to make bad choices, but you still made those choices. Growing up in an abusive, maybe an alcoholic home, a drug abusing home, has got to be an absolute agony that you have to deal with. And I feel that, and I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. And while you cannot change that, you can change how you respond to that. And you can climb out of a cave of avoidance and say, I'm going to face headlong the things that have come my way in life. I can't change the hand I've been dealt in life, but I can play the best I can with the hand that I've been given. From the moment that you step out into this world, it becomes your choice. Now you're living by the consequences of your own choices. And it is a hard choice sometimes, but get away from the thinking that everything is everybody else's fault. No, it isn't. There are so many things that have gone wrong that we have to take the blame for. And when we do, we're stepping out of avoidance into acceptance, and we're saying, I can actually do this. I can make that change. I'm going to stop curling underneath the duvet in the morning and avoiding the day. You know what? The day is happening whether you're in it or not. And if you're not in it, you are shirking responsibilities, making other people's lives very difficult, and you are causing other people stress. When you embrace your failure, you are also embracing a chance to change. Getting out of a culture of avoidance is stepping into a culture of acceptance and saying, I can be better. I can do better. If you're still at school, you can start saying to yourself right now, I'm going to stop avoiding my responsibilities like my homework, getting to school on time, being nice to other people, stop shouting out and disrupting the class. I'm going to choose to stop doing that because I'm going to embrace the fact that I was wrong. And the moment you do that, you embrace the chance to be right. Make that choice. Stop avoiding the inevitable. Face those things. Face that challenge. Face that awkward phone call that you're having to make. Face that particular issue that you're going to have to talk to somebody about. In leadership, I find I have to do that all the time. You have to have very awkward conversations. You have to have very direct conversations. And if I avoid it and avoid it and avoid it, things are going to fester and things are never going to have a chance to heal. And so, love yourself enough to accept yourself enough to bring about the changes that you can bring about, and stop stopping yourself. Move ahead. It's been fantastic talking to you today. I hope you've been challenged by this. You're welcome to contact me. My contact details are right there on my channel. If you're needing some life coaching, I do operate via Zoom as well if you're not local to where I live here in the UK. But I'd love to have a chat with you further. I'd love to help you as much as I can. I work with all ages. I work with family groups as well, getting parents talking to their kids, parents talking to one another. Absolutely love that sort of thing. All right. So come on, I will see you again soon. Now hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you again very, very soon. God bless. Bye-bye.